Dean Faculty of Commerce, Head Department of Business Administration, Professor Sangeeta, my dear colleagues from university and very dear students. I'm happy to see that tradition continues. Why I'm happy at continuance of the tradition, which should be very obvious, is because probably this is not one such department which has been holding the traditions tightly and continuing. And I'm sharing this based on my 4 years experience of this department. Nevertheless, credit goes to the students, and I echo the sentiment raised by Department Head Sangeeta ji that the students truly deserve a clap for this. Now, I slightly disagree with the head of department when she said fest is all about fun. Now, why do I disagree? And to what extent do I disagree? I'll share. But this fest, as conceived and executed by the students, for them I have a fundamental question. I have a very, very fundamental question to make. And that is, why at all do students take admission to a management program? Probably I've shared before that there are two kinds of institutions imparting management education. One is a typical B school model. So you go to XYZ business school. That includes Indian Institute of Management. Before that, let us try and differentiate between management education and business education. The modern theme is of management education and not business education only. And that is why we at the University of Lucknow strived very strongly, and we are almost successful in converting this Department of Business Administration to Department of Management Studies. And from Department of Management Studies to, of course, Faculty of Management Studies. And this is not just a change in the nomenclature. I hope you guys are able to understand. So this is not just change in the nomenclature, but this is change in the very conception, designing and delivery of the entire experience that the student is supposed to undergo through during their 2-year stay. Having business education is an old concept. So you know, we used to study, how many of you have done BCom or BBA before taking admission to MBA? Very few. तो पहली शुरुआती क्लास में बताते होंगे ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स, कॉमर्स एंड बिजनेस डिफरेंसेस, सो हाउ दिस होल थिंग ग्रोज. बट ऑफ लेट the management was established as a discipline that transcends the boundary of business and moves to different functions. So these days we have political consultants also, we have financial consultants also, we have strategy consultants also, we have infrastructure consultants also, we have technical consultants also. And very recently I was going through some private university websites. They have MBA in infrastructure management, MBA in energy management. So this is per se not essentially business management program. So this is, first thing is management program. So when we talk of management program, and this was one resolve that I have had since I had come here, that let us try to have a full-fledged faculty of management, which we are almost successful. It's in the last leg of its incubation. Now, what difference does it going to make? And for that, I need to draw your attention to the fact that why at all did you take admission to this management program? I don't say it's you take admission to a business program. I say this, and that is why it's not Indian Institute of Business. The first institution in business education was established as a business education. Oh, Kolkata mein kaun sa tha na? Indian Institute of IIB something, Calcutta mein. It was the first institution that was established in India. Of late, management, people, a lot of researchers went in and people started establishing management as a discipline. Though we still struggle to establish it as a discipline the way political science or social work or maybe even commerce or other economics or chemistry or English or other subjects have been established as a discipline, we still are struggling to be recognized as a professor of a discipline, because we have been largely seen as professor of practice, professor of certain practicing profession. So for you, it was so very important to strike a balance between knowing the discipline and also knowing the skills of the discipline that excels you into the profession. Because still you excel in your profession. आप बोलो मुझे all the theories of management I know, right from Fayol to Taylor to Weber to all these theories I know. कोई 5,000 रुपए की नौकरी नहीं दे. No one. You say I know all the microeconomics, I know market structure, economics का, कोई नहीं देगा नौकरी. 5,000 रुपए की नौकरी नहीं देगा. Because you are hired largely for your professional skills. So I again come back to the basic question as to why at all did you all take admission to a management program? क्यों दाखिला लिया आपने मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम में? देखो आप शर्मा रहे हो, मैं बता देता हूँ. आप आए हो प्लेसमेंट. You all take admission और एक स्टडी यहाँ के प्रोफेसर कर सकते हैं. Though they claim they'll do the study, they never do any of the study. But फिर भी स्टूडेंट्स में carry on. अब average percentage of student taking admission to PhD program on the denominator of the total PG intake. अब देख लीजिए. It will be very, very less. You have economics, you have social work, you have political science, you have chemistry, you have statistics, you have several other discipline professors sitting out here. Total number of masters intake, take that as denominator, and number of students applying for a PhD program, आप उसका एक ratio निकाल, and you will find. Without conducting a study, I can share that the number will be least here. This itself signifies that the core of taking admission to a management program is to be a practicing professional. This practicing professional माने को क्रूड भाषा में, सरल भाषा में, आम भाषा में कहें तो you need placement, right? Now, why will someone give you placement? Why will someone give you placement? Even for 5,000 rupees package, 5,000 रुपए से लेके 500 करोड़ तक की सैलरी. I know in Banaras University there is up to Indian Institute of Technology. The highest paid executive in corporate world is Nikesh Arora. 4-5 साल पहले his package was 500 crores Indian currency में. अभी वो उसी हिसाब से बढ़ गया होगा. साल का पैकेज 500 करोड़. And there would be some student sitting right here in the hall may struggle to get 50,000 रुपए. a month? 5 lakh ka package. Why? A lot goes into, not just कि आप बोलो कि लुम्बा का ब्रांड खराब है, this I don't subscribe to. तो 500 करोड़ का पैकेज पहले दिन तो मिला नहीं, isn't it? So one core thing that a student aspires while taking admission to a management program is placement. Now, why will a company provide placement? Because when you talk of factors of production, you talk of land.
Capital.
Huh?
Capital.
Someone is saying something.
Land, labor, capital.
Wow, क्या बात है? No, land does not mean with the dynamics, the changed dynamics. Land does not mean a piece of land. Land means all the resources coming out of land. Then labor? Huh?
Workforce.
Labor is?
Workforce.
Workforce. ये कौन पढ़ाता है तुमको economics? See, labor is not an individual. Labor means the skill. जो दे दे, जहां से मिल जाए. So if software computes, why will I hire you? And across industry, even body shopping जो पहले IT में होती थी, अभी law में हो रही है. And many other people, very recently, a very senior lawyer in the country, said साहब पहले we used to look down upon कि ड्राफ्टिंग कौन करेगा, हम तो वकील बनते हैं बहस करने के लिए. अभी बहस करने को people are not appreciating and they are paid immensely for drafting work. और ड्राफ्टिंग कहाँ की कर रहे हैं? लंदन के केस की, गुड़गांव में बैठ के. See, referring to the cases, यहां से करके you log on to the system. 10:12 पे सिस्टम ऑन, केस आया. 11:37 पे आई लॉग्ड ऑफ, वेंट फॉर अ कॉफी ब्रेक. हमारा टाइम कैलकुलेट हो गया 11:37 माइनस 10:12. इतने दिन का हुआ. फिर आफ्टर 17 minutes आई केम बैक अगेन लॉग्ड ऑन एंड द टोटल अमाउंट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, दिस इज पर आवर बिलिंग my law firm is charging. So it is the skill. So for someone it might be $20 an hour, for someone it is $200 an hour. So it is the skill and not the individual. And there are people who are charging $2,000. So when university का केस भी जाता है, even लखनऊ बेंच में हाई कोर्ट के, हम किसी को 5 लाख दे रहे हैं, किसी को 5,000 दे रहे हैं. So it is the skill that we are paying for, right? So land, labor, capital, etc. I'm not going into. Point is, we are not being hired. It is our skill. It is our skill that is demanded. Now, how to improvise on our skill is one important thing. So you come to the institution for placement, you realize that placement is largely for the skill that you acquire. What all skill set is required by the industry, by the specific industry, is what you have got to enlist and develop those specific skills into yourself. Whatever field you want to go into, be it consultancy or marketing or core accounting, finance, audit, etc., or pure HR, anything. So mere degree would not suffice, and that is why I keep telling this to my students. Why is it that the same student coming out of the same institution, getting exposed to the same syllabus, same books, same pedagogy, by the same teacher, after 10 years, one is at a package of 1 crore, the other is still struggling to sustain the job? So why is it? So it is very, very important for you to find out that what are these skill sets required? What are these skill sets am I possessing? And what all am I supposed to do to get that done, to bridge that gap? So, our job as a teacher, the job of the Department of Business Administration, the job of all your teachers is to actually let you inculcate all the required skills that enable you to attend the requirements of the modern times. Now, when I say this, I do not essentially mean all the theories and laboo ko bacche zyada padhte hain teachers. Isn't it? Aap padhte hoge, I don't know how much time you are spending in the department, but then back in the hostel or at home, you are spending more time than the teacher. So you know many a time more than the teacher. Our job is largely to tell you the queries that comes up in between, or enable you to apply those specific knowledge and convert them into certain set of skills. Now, how am I going to do this is the job of the teacher and the department. But then there are few fine tuning is required. I'll share an interesting, probably I might have shared before. BPCL is Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. In one such a seminar he shared, he was then MD, earlier he was HR head of the company. So he said कि भाई he went to a NIT for placements. Notice लग गई साहब फला company is coming. 10:30 is the reporting time for engineers. So he said many of the students who came, they came in slippers, jeans and t-shirts. Some came formally dressed, and he said, when he entered into the hall, he said, all those who are not formally dressed, please leave. And I will interview only the students who are formally dressed. Now the logic behind this was, he said, this is the job day. This job is going to determine your future, because this job and this salary will going to determine your wife and then your kids and then your subsequent life and lifestyle. If you're not taking that day also very seriously, you're not at all going to take a job seriously. So this was one such learning that could have been imparted to these students. एक घटना मुझे बहुत पसंद आती है, तो मैं इसको जरूर I would want to share this. And many a time it happens that we see the challenges and we give up. इतनी बेरोजगारी है, मुझे नौकरी कहां से मिलेगी, तो मैं क्यों इसमें जाऊंगा, मेरा होगा ही नहीं. एक आश्रम में एक साधु महाराज को जंगल के रास्ते जाना था बहुत दूर, तो उनके गुरुजी ने कहा कि भाई आप चले जाइए और वहां जाके दूसरे आश्रम के गुरु को ये संदेश प्रेषित करना है. तो उन्होंने कहा साहब इतनी रात को कैसे जाएंगे, जंगल का रास्ता है, रास्ते में जानवर होंगे, उनको काट लेंगे, उनको अंधेरे में दिखेगा ही नहीं. उन्होंने उनको एक लालटेन दे दी, बोले साहब इसको लेके जाइए, आपको रास्ता दिखाएगा. बोले जाना है मुझे 20 मील और ये 2 मीटर भी नहीं दिखाता है. कहे ये तुम जितना भी जाओगे, जब भी जाओगे तो आगे का 2 मीटर दिखता रहेगा, तो फिर तुम 2 मीटर जाओगे तो फिर आगे का 2 मीटर दिख रहा होगा, और फिर आगे बढ़ोगे तो फिर आगे का 2 मीटर दिख रहा होगा. सो वी हैव टू build smaller goals in order to attain the bigger goals. But it's not just the issue of placement. It is also to ensure the perpetuity of placement, sustainability. तो नौकरी तो मिल जाती है बहुत लोगों को, चलती कितने की? Getting my point? So this is also important. नौकरी मिल गई, बहुत बार सिफारिश से मिल गई, बहुत बार चांस से मिल गई. In the year 2010-11 एक स्कीम आई थी गवर्नमेंट की, where most of the public sector banks were going to business schools. They might have come to your department also for placements. तो मेरे यहाँ तो ऐसी स्थिति आ गई at FMS BHO कि बच्चे नहीं होते थे. एक पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक है, 28 बच्चे ले गए, हमारे कुल बच्चे ही 100 के आसपास 100-110 होते थे, 110 में 10-12-15 ऑप्ट आउट कर देते थे, तो बच्चे 90-95, उसमें से बहुत सारे वो बड़े कंपनीज में पहले प्लेस हो गए। जब इनका नंबर ऐसा बच्चे ही नहीं है, कैसा हमारा कोटा तो 35-40 काम लेके आए हैं, हमारे पास बच्चे ही नहीं। 2 साल स्कीम चली तो मान लो नौकरी लग गई, व्हाट आफ्टर दैट? I have seen many of these students who got placement in very good companies, but they have not been able to ensure. And here it is extremely important to create certain skill sets, and I'm again coming back to that only, that ensures the sustainability of ours through difficult times. So what I had started, and I appreciate if Department of Business Administration may also initiate something which enables you to stand before the hardships of the system and society. Because when we prepare ourselves for bigger goals, we largely confine on to everything that is there with us, which is there with us. So what I'll do is I'll read good books, I'll read more, I'll study more, I'll practice more, I'll prepare more. But then when I say more, it entirely means me and myself, without taking cognizance of what others are. But the moment we go out, तो मैं तो सोच के आया कि मैं मैनेजमेंट स्टूडेंट को एड्रेस करूंगा, मैं ये भी बोलूंगा, मैं वो भी बोलूंगा, कोई फोन पे बात कर रहा है, कोई गाना गा रहा है, कोई बाहर निकल रहा है, कोई दूसरे का हाथ दबा रहा है। अब मैं क्या करूं? What will I do? Am I ready for this? I have prepared a wonderful speech, but I am not prepared for this. So am I ready to take these into my stride? नौकरी लग गई, साल के अंत में सोचा मैंने तो बहुत मेहनत करी, मेरा इंक्रीमेंट तो सबसे ज्यादा होगा, बट हो गया दूसरे का। अब बुरा लगा, फिर अगली साल चलो अच्छा इस साल उसका हो गया, अगली साल मैं उससे बड़ा प्रमोशन लेके दिखाता हूँ, फिर अगली साल देखा उसी प्रमोशन नहीं हो गया, और नौकरी में आता नहीं, बॉस के घर के आगे पीछे घूमता है, बच्चे को स्कूल छोड़ रहा है, होली दिवाली गिफ्ट ले जा रहा है, और आपने सोचा कि मैं यू नो प्रिपेयरिंग माई सेल्फ, आई मी माई सेल्फ, मैं बहुत अच्छा काम करा। अब क्या हुआ? 1 साल बाद इंक्रीमेंट गड़बड़ाया, अगले साल का प्रमोशन गड़बड़ाया, लेड टू इनॉर्मस फ्रस्ट्रेशन। फिर 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल मैं बता रहा हूं, आप छोड़ के नौकरी चले जाओ, आप छोड़ के नौकरी चले जाओ। Yesterday evening someone visited my place and he shared in his institution some people have left because of this interpersonal thing. We are not trained for this. This is not that our teachers are attending to. उसको सिलेबस दे दिया, उसने अच्छी किताब ले ली, अच्छी किताब से अच्छा पीपीटी बनाया, बढ़िया अंग्रेजी में लेक्चर दिया, असाइनमेंट प्रैक्टिस ये वो सब कराया, बट फिर वही आई मी माई सेल्फ, आई डिड द बेस्ट एज अ टीचर, यू डिड द बेस्ट एज अ स्टूडेंट। और पूरी कहानी में इकोसिस्टम वाज मिसिंग। एक ग्रीक फिलोसोफर था, तो ऐसे बहुत सारे नाम ठीक नहीं है, मे नॉट जेल वेल विथ मनी। सो ऐसे कई दुनिया के इतिहास में लोग हुए who have been able to create a distance between myself as an individual and myself as a professional. There is a difference, there is a gap, and it is said कि कच्चा नारियल है पका नारियल, so if you break कच्चा नारियल, the shell breaks and so is the नारियल, coconut. पका वाला shell breaks, नारियल is not. Are we able to create this gap? Are such business schools or business departments or management departments able to create skill sets that is able to create a distance between the shell and the coconut? Because the life and the life situation, especially in professional life situations, there will be a constant hammering on the external shell. Are you breaking from inside? I see, बहुत सारा हम लोग अपॉइंटमेंट वगैरह करते हैं, जिसकी नौकरी नहीं लगती वो चिट्ठी लिखता है, इधर उधर लोगों को बोलता है. Because the person has not been trained to address this hammering, which goes against the wishes. Are we able to create a gap? And this is, as a teacher, it's my responsibility, because we take these students holistically. Until we do that, we will not be able to create a sustainable skill set that will ensure performance at the system and society. And so first is placement, second is perpetuity of placement, and third is the package. Now, why will you be provided a package more than 5 lakh रुपए? Why? भाई बाजार में it's a demand supply, right? 5 lakh is the average salary being provided to X kind of a job. आपको भी देंगे, आपको 5 का 15 क्यों देंगे? बताइए, क्यों मिलेगा? Because you offer something which others do not. You can take a decision which others cannot. So, and I'm telling you from HR perspective, because recruitment selection we also do at the university level, and we say, and we tell this to many of the applicants, look, we are not into a coaching, we are not a coaching institution. We do not essentially want कि teacher आया class में class पढ़ाया चला गया, तो coaching में होता है. Because at our institution we take students holistically. So if you come, you come with all your joys and sorrows, and it is my responsibility to look for that and address you holistically. Not just बच्चा लिया placement करके बाहर कर दिया. It is very easy, मैं 5 लाख के पैकेज पे 50 जॉब का बार्गेन कर लूं किसी HR कंपनी से या कंपनी के HR से, बोलो तुम 3 महीने तनख्वाह देना है इसकी, 3 महीने वो भी 5 लाख का कितना होगा, 40-45 हजार महीना, लाख सवा लाख रुपए हमने उसको वापस दे दिए, वो 3 महीने में आपको निकाल दिया, हमारे रिकॉर्ड में प्लेसमेंट 100%. फिर अगले बैच का बच्चा आता है, कहता हाँ साहब इनके अंदर प्लेसमेंट हुई थी, इतने बच्चे X कंपनी, इतने बच्चे Y कंपनी, इतने Z कंपनी. But is this what job of a management institution of a reputed university is? No. Strictly no. My job is to prepare you so that you arrange for it, you insure for it, and you deliver for the cause. So this package comes in vis-a-vis what you give. Now what do you give? भाई X और Y की एबिलिटी में क्या डिफरेंस है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग? मेहनत तो चपरासी सबसे ज्यादा कर रहा है. These days अभी वो स्पेशलाइजेशन वाला कॉन्सेप्ट में खत्म हो गया. So companies are looking for business managers. They are not looking for marketing manager, finance manager, HR manager, operations manager, because no decision can be taken in isolation. So we have to inculcate the abilities that is required for gross decision making that may have an impact on the long range institutional interest based decisions. What makes me very happy today is that when the head of department says that the entire fest has been arranged Just to all of you to ensure that the tradition continues, that the success continues, and you also keep flourishing with time, keep developing with time, and sincere wishes and congratulations. Thank you.